Imagine waking up and your entire village is drunk, not because of a party, not because of a celebration, because it's Tuesday. That might sound impossible, but for thousands of years, some scientists believe this wasn't rare at all. It might have been normal. So here's the question that's been quietly bothering researchers for decades. When did humans start drinking alcohol? And were we drunk a lot more than we think? You'd probably guess alcohol showed up with farming, grapes, grain, wine cellars, civilization. But here's the strange part. Some researchers think our attraction to alcohol goes back before farming, before writing, before cities, maybe even before we were fully human. That means the urge to drink might not be a modern habit we picked up. It might be something written into us a long, long time ago. And if that's true, it raises an uncomfortable question. Were we designed, even a little, to want this? Here's the simple version. Ripe fruit rots. When it rots, natural yeast in the air starts breaking down its sugar. That process makes alcohol. It happens on its own, no humans required. So long before anyone was brewing anything, fermented fruit was just lying around on the forest floor, free for anyone hungry enough to eat it. And a lot of animals did, which means the very first drinkers on Earth probably weren't people at all. Picture an ancestor of ours, millions of years ago, walking through a forest looking for food. Food is scarce. Every calorie matters. Starvation is one bad week away. Then the smell, sharp, sweet, slightly sour, fermenting fruit on the ground, to an animal built to survive on whatever calories it can find, that smell means one thing: energy, sugar, life. So they eat it, and along with the sugar, they get a small dose of alcohol too. At low amounts, that alcohol doesn't hurt them. It might even help. Some scientists think it made the fruits smell easier to detect from farther away, like a dinner bell ringing through the trees. Eat the fruit, get the calories, survive the day. That single, simple habit, repeated for millions of years, may have built something permanent into our biology. A pull toward the smell of alcohol, long before anyone knew what alcohol even was. Here's where it gets interesting. Inside your body, there's an enzyme responsible for breaking down alcohol. Scientists studying its history found something unexpected. Around 10 million years ago, that enzyme became far more efficient, much better at processing alcohol than it used to be. That timing matters. It lines up with a period when our ancestors were spending more time on the ground, eating fallen fruit, instead of only picking fresh fruit from trees. In other words, our bodies may have upgraded specifically to handle the alcohol in rotting fruit. Not because we were trying to get drunk, because getting good at processing alcohol meant getting good at surviving. This idea even has a name: the drunken monkey hypothesis. The theory that our attraction to alcohol isn't a modern flaw, it's an ancient survival tool. And we're not the only ones. In parts of Malaysia, small tree shrews regularly drink fermented nectar with an alcohol content similar to beer. They do it almost every night, and they don't stumble around or act drunk. Their bodies seem built to handle it. Fruit bats do something similar, eating fermented fruit high in the trees. So this isn't just a human story, it's a pattern across the animal kingdom, which tells us something important. The attraction to alcohol didn't start with a wine glass. It started with survival. Here's the twist that changes how you might see your next drink. That pull you feel. The smell of a barbecue with a cold drink nearby, the comfort of wine with dinner. Some scientists think that's a very old survival signal, still quietly running in the background. Millions of years ago, that signal helped an ancestor find food and survive one more day. Today, that same ancient wiring exists in a world with something it was never designed for. Alcohol on every street corner, in every store, available any hour of the day. The environment changed completely. The wiring inside us didn't. Think about it this way. Every time people gather around a table and share a drink, a toast at a wedding, a beer after a hard week, wine at a family dinner, there's a strange thread connecting that moment to a hungry ancestor in a forest, following a smell toward survival. The setting changed. The species evolved. Civilizations rose and fell. But the pull, the specific deep-rooted pull toward that smell, may be one of the oldest habits we still carry. It's not really about the alcohol, it's about a very old part of you that still remembers what it took to survive. So maybe the question isn't really, when did humans start drinking? Maybe the real question is, how much of what we do today is still shaped by instincts built millions of years before written history? The clothes we wear, the food we crave, the way a room full of laughter and drinks feels like safety. Old survival tools, quietly repurposed for modern life. So next time you're at a table, glass in hand, surrounded by people you care about, remember, you're not just having a drink. You're running a program written millions of years ago by an ancestor who was just trying to make it to tomorrow. And in a strange way, they're still with you every time you raise a glass.